Donald Trump's new tariffs on Canadian goods has a lot of people wanting to know, how will these tariffs impact Calgary house prices in 2025? And has Calgary house prices started to drop already? Well, the short answer to that is yes. We're seeing a short-term market softening in some of Calgary neighborhoods, but in the long term, I believe Calgary remains one of the most stable, opportunity-rich housing markets in Canada. So for those of you who are thinking about buying a house in Calgary in 2025, stick around because what I'm going to be discussing may impact your decision about the best time to buy a home in Calgary this year, or if at all. If this is the first time we've met, my name is Dean Martin and I'm a real estate agent in Calgary who has been helping families buy and sell homes for over 30 years now. Today I'll be diving into how the U.S. tariffs are influencing Calgary house prices and why I believe Calgary is still positioned to be one of Canada's best cities to live in. Okay, so let's take a look at where home prices were at as of April 1st, 2025. The benchmark price for detached homes was $769,800. Semi-detached homes was $691,900. Townhouses was $554,000, and apartments were at $336,100. Entry-level detached and semi-detached prices remain consistent with their peak values and continue to trend upward. Meanwhile, apartments and townhouses are still priced slightly below last year's peak, which could represent opportunity for investors or first-time homebuyers. Sales slowed across all property types, with the biggest decline in high-density segments like condos and townhouses. But here's some perspective. The number of sales are still stronger than anything that we saw between the years 2015 and 2020, arguably during much tougher economic conditions. What's also changing is the inventory. Over 4,000 new listings hit the market in March, and months of supply rose to 2.4 months. This increase of inventory is pushing Calgary real estate market back to a more balanced market, which is easing the extreme seller's market we've been in for the past 3 years. So, is it still a good time to buy a home in Calgary in 2025? Here's how I look at it. If you're not sure you're going to stay in Calgary for at least 5 years and your budget is $700,000 or more, you may actually want to consider renting until the economic picture in Calgary or in Canada becomes much clearer. But if you're staying in Calgary for 5 years or more and your budget is over $700,000, this would actually be a good time to buy, mostly because you'll be able to negotiate a pretty good deal. The entry-level detached and semi-detached homes under $700,000 are holding strong and prices are still rising. Apartment and townhouses saw a slight price drop, but I believe as we go into 2025 further, we're going to see higher demand, especially at the entry levels below $700,000. So for the first-time home buyers, it makes sense to buy, especially if you plan to live in Calgary for more than 5 years. Keep in mind, if you're going to rent, you're going to be losing that money you're paying to your landlord. If you buy, you'll be paying down your mortgage and starting to create equity. Keep in mind that interest rates are dropping and your mortgage payments will be much more reasonable now. I recommend doing the math. Paying down your own mortgage makes more financial sense than paying your landlord's mortgage. Bottom line, Calgary, Alberta is a great place for families to buy a home at reasonable price compared to Toronto or Vancouver. Even with house prices dropping in these cities, Calgary is still much more affordable with lots of upside. Alberta is still a magnet for interprovincial migration. Most people relocating to Alberta choose Calgary, and that steady population growth puts long-term pressure on prices in Calgary to continue to rise. Add to that the fact that the world still needs Alberta's oil and gas. The U.S. wants it, global demand is rising, and there's growing pressure on the Canadian federal government to expand Alberta's export infrastructure. These fundamentals drive jobs, growth, and long-term housing demand, especially for detached homes in family-friendly neighborhoods. But the sky isn't falling. We're just seeing the Calgary market shift back into a more balanced state after these 3 years of intense competition. So what's your viewpoint on this? I'd love to hear from you, about what the prices in Calgary are and, how Trump tariffs are affecting us. Please share in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So if you're moving to Calgary in 2025 and want to learn more about Calgary's best family neighborhoods, I can help. My team and I specialize in helping families find the ideal home that best suits their lifestyle and budget. And if you want to explore Calgary's best family neighborhoods, check out this video I did right here. Thanks for watching.